Yukon Health in Connecticut has had some state funding cuts. And so what did they do to decrease their budget? They immediately went to nurse wages, which is what they all always do, right? Because you couldn't possibly cut costs anywhere else other than nurse wages. And so in this case, it's the ER and ICU nurses, their retention stipends, like their critical care diff. And it's like 15% of their wage. It's big, right? And they're slashing it in half. And so, and effective immediately. And so everybody is pissed, right? And they had a big town hall meeting, okay? And it's over an hour long. I've got little bits and pieces of it I want to play for you because this is an exercise in studying the manipulation. I have studied these town hall meetings firsthand for years. And once you begin to recognize the signs, I think it's so much easier to navigate. So I want you guys to really pay attention to these things, okay? They know that they've set aside 1 hour and they will do whatever they can to take up 55 minutes of it, but then keep saying, well, we want to save time for questions at the end, knowing that they're not saving time, right? They'll keep reintroducing people. They'll keep thanking people for coming. They'll talk as slow as they get, the pie charts and all these terms to throw you off and these evasive tactics just to fill the time. My favorite thing is when someone asks a hard question, they say, we need to take this offline. Like you could literally make a drinking game and take a shot every time they say that. And then when they don't have an answer, they will just hand it off to another person that's up there next to them. The name of the game is deflection. Watch how many times they ask the CEO and CNO if they themselves will take a pay cut or if there's going to be furloughs, and they never answer it. They find excuses to say, oh yeah, I was just up on the 7th floor reviewing this to make it look like they're actually rounding and doing their job. Or an employee will ask a question and they will use the employee's name in the answer to put them on notice in an indirect threatening way, or say, oh yeah, you should have reported not getting a lunch because that's really the issue instead of them not getting the lunch. Just watch and look for it.
Agreement for recruitment and retention stipend going to continue for the emergency nurses in the ED.
So I think, I think what we'll do is, some of this we'll need to take offline because I know there are other questions, but do you want to just
So in summary, and we can take that offline, but I think that you actually had a member of your staff there. So I think that it was decided at the time when we talked to Bill before that on Monday that we still remained competitive with our nursing salaries and also with our staffing ratios. And that's why the deduction has been proposed.
Yeah. So I'd just like to say, I know there's a lot of discussion going on and I've received letters as well. I know this is a very important topic and I see a lot of people, sort of advocates here, which is great. I think we'll take this offline, but one of the things I do want to say, and hopefully it's been borne out, not just when I'm here, but over the years, is that we do believe deeply in being competitive, sometimes being a little bit better than competitive with our staff.
We're going to have to monitor the vacancy rate. If we start to have nurses leave because of decisions that are made and go to other institutions based on, their fiscal decisions or their other benefits to their decisions, we will have to monitor and address it.
Why not be proactive versus reactive? Why are you waiting for nurses to leave?
So that's not what we're doing. So what I had said is that we're really looking at the content of the comparison across the state. And the comparison across the state, even with decreasing your stipend by half, puts you at the 75th to 80th percentile for pay. So that is the reality of what we've now had to look at. Yeah, so I've talked to actually the CNO of Hartford Healthcare as last night. So I will tell you that I've seen her specifics. We are very competitive. We remain competitive. So I think if you have some data you can bring me, that would be great.
I do have data, actually.
Okay.
So from 2020 to 2025, your paycheck went up 45%. So are you guys going to be taking a decrease in determining all these fiscal?
Yeah. So I think as you heard Lakeisha, we're doing a whole look at the organizational charts. We're already looking at giving in executive leadership and management confidential positions. So that's all on the table.
Okay.
Well, her question was, are you to taking pay cuts
So there's a discussion about furloughs. I think Dr. Aguinobi can address that further, but
Yeah.
that will be yes.
Thank you. Do you have a question?
Can I ask you where you're getting this data from with the pay between Hartford Healthcare and UConn? Because I am currently a Hartford Healthcare employee in addition to UConn, and I am taking a $11 an hour pay cut by coming to this.
Yeah, so it is the Connecticut Hospital Association data that lists all of the Connecticut acute care Connecticut hospitals. In addition, I think that we would have to look at the contract and the levels of the contract, because if you're a CN3, your differential is going to be a little bit different.
As a base.
Yeah, we looked
This
at,
has
and we
nothing
looked
to
at
do-
1, 2s, and 3s.
Nothing to do with
Yep.
with any sort of.
So again,
increase.
we can take that offline and we can do more.
Yeah, you can bring that data to Carol.
Yeah. And one more thing, and when I was hired into this facility, there was absolutely nothing with this was going to be temporary. This was built into my contract as if this was something that I was going to be paid.
No, in nursing, it's important. APA format, we have to cite our sources. So I just want to cite that you said going to get paid for the care that we provide. You cited that in your, and I kind of want to underline that, and that's what we're asking. Another thing you said was that we are in charge of our own destiny, and again, all of us showing up here to support each other. I'm wondering what the cost benefit analysis would be if you're cutting our paychecks by about between $800 and $900 a month. But now you have to turn around when we all leave and spend about $60,000 to hire a whole bunch of new nurses that are coming in. Have $60,000 each to hire and train a new nurse in the emergency department? What cost benefit analysis is that going to help?
Yeah. So I think it's fair questions, and as we said, we'll be taking those offline. But Carol, do you want to speak? No, Carol's going to speak to some of that, right? For that, you have a question?
Yes, I saw that there was voluntary days off, but could this lead to mandatory days off?
We don't have that right now. When you say mandatory, you mean like furloughs? Anything's on the table, but that's not on our list right now. Okay, so I actually think we're at time. So if we can have,
Is there one more, please?
I think I'm going to hold us to time because I know other people have to leave as well. If you want to do just 20 seconds, that's okay.
I'm wondering how a 7.5% pay cut is going to go into your strategy to improve staffing for us that we're able to take a lunch break, especially when over the past 5 years, we've been taking 4.5% raises that have barely kept up with inflation, while we've watched our CNO take a salary increase of about 14% every year for the past year, increasing the income gap between the working people of UConn and the executive team.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay. I want to thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for your advocacy. I understand it's an important topic. And Carol, do you want to answer that? I thought we were going to take 20 seconds. This is the last answer, and then we got to let people go. I thought it was more of a statement.
I'm asking how does cutting our pay play into your strategy to improve staffing so we can actually take a lunch break?
Yeah.
Also, what message are you sending to nurses by taking a 14% pay raise for yourself while giving us a raise that barely keeps up with inflation?
Yeah. I'm going to just address right now the lunches. And I had a conversation when I saw your email today related to that. And that should be an immediate call to the supervisor. I know that what the staffing ratios, I actually reviewed them with Anna today up on the 7th floor for Sunday of what you're talking about. And the distribution. As a critical care nurse, you take 3 patients. It's voluntary. Correct, which is extremely, I appreciate that. And I know you did because I looked at the data with Anna this morning. The fact that you didn't have a lunch break is something that is an issue.
More for Lakeisha on, are we getting raises in July?
I wish. We don't have contracts finalized.
Okay, so we have 8 minutes left. So we're just going to open it up for questions.